I was munching fries sitting in the school cafeteria when Zeke and Milo joined me. "Did you hear about the weeping woman?" Zeke asked. I took a big bite of my chocolate cookie and scoffed. "Shut up, Zeke. We all know tomorrow's 1st April, so whatever prank you and Milo are trying to pull, it won't work." Zeke got defensive, saying his neighbor's son saw this middle-aged, anemic woman in the abandoned tunnel near the broken railroad. When he saw her, he just ran for his life. He said the woman had no eyelids or lips. I still refused to believe him because I was certain this was some stupid prank, but Zeke kept mocking me, saying I was not brave enough to go there and blah blah blah. Fast forward, we were on our way home after school when Zeke again started talking about this scary woman. Our argument went on, and suddenly Zeke declared whoever would go to that tunnel right now and record a video will get a free bucket of KFC chicken nuggets tomorrow. I thought Milo would say yes right away because the only thing that motivated him was food, but to my surprise, he was hesitating. At that moment, I knew these two were in this together. They just want me to go out there and get spooked, so they tell everyone how easily I fell for their trap for April Fool. So I accepted the challenge. I told them to go home. Meanwhile, I started walking towards the woods. My plan was simple. Go to the tunnel, record myself roaming around for 10 to 15 minutes, and then return home. As I walked, I kept looking back to make sure if Zeke or Milo weren't following me. FYI, they weren't. The railroad used to be a way of transportation for coal miners before World War. I'd been there a few times with my dad to collect rare plants for our garden. That place has become a low-maintenance sanctuary, honestly. When I reached the spot, the sun had already gone down. The huge abandoned tunnel lay in front of me. I turned the flashlight on my phone to see in the dark. The tunnel is not very long, probably 30 feet, so the end of it was clearly visible. I began recording myself. Trees and ivy branches had curved the tunnel into a greenhouse. I could see bats hanging from above. Drops of rainwater were falling from the roof. A damp smell of rotten leaves and dead rats surrounded the air inside. I walked around a bit and took some selfies. 10 minutes passed by and there was no woman with missing eyelids. I sent a voice text to Zeke, saying he better be ready to buy me those nuggets. I was all set to return home when I heard something moving in the corner. I assumed it was a rat, but as I got closer, I found a headless bat. It was having his final shudders of death. A small pool of blood was beneath it. "Gruesome, huh?" I immediately jumped, hearing the gravel-like voice from behind. There was a homeless man in his late 40s, his face contorted into a grin while he repeated himself. "Pretty gruesome, huh?" I was a little shaken by his sudden appearance, but still maintained a poker face. Didn't you hear you come?" "Just like that bat?" "No. It also didn't hear the predator when it came for it." I faked a nervous chuckle. "You're funny." He stopped smiling, then waddled close to the headless bat and stomped on it. "Better to put it out of its misery," he muttered, closing his eyes. Ghost of a woman or not, but I was a second away from wetting my pants. I've often seen those scary stories where people start to run after facing a possible psycho or serial killer, and in 99% of those cases, they get chased. I was so scared that I wasn't sure whether I'd be able to make it alive if I ran, so I put on a courageous face and said, "Well, it's getting late. Mom will be worried." I turned around, keeping my body language as casual as possible, and started to walk. Did I try to look back to see if he was following me? I didn't have to, because a few seconds later the homeless guy was walking right next to me. "So, what were you doing here anyway?" Just exploring." What is there to explore here?" I kept walking, so did he. The tunnel now was feeling never-ending to me. "Nothing, just a casual stroll," I muttered. My throat was so dry in fear that it got difficult for me to speak clearly. He was following my pace, kind of too close to me that our shoulders almost touched. I calculated every move because somehow I felt the only way out was to be normal about this whole scenario. Sweat dripped from my forehead, yet I was terrified to wipe it. The man chuckled, saying, "You sweat a lot, or are you just scared?" I glanced at him, still didn't stop. I stop, I die, I thought. I replied, keeping my cool as much as possible. "No, it's just hot in here." We were almost at the other end of the tunnel. I could see the reflecting glim of the distant streetlight. My hopes were getting high. I could make out alive. Just then, when we were about to step out of the tunnel, the man blocked my way. My heart stopped. Our eyes locked. I was in tears, but he didn't blink. Not once. Then, he leaned closer, brought his mouth next to my ear and whispered, "Don't end up like that bat, kiddo. I'll see you around." He then passed on something squishy into my hand, and I couldn't even refuse. I just grasped whatever the hell he gave me like his puppet and ran. I stopped once I reached home. I broke down on the porch, panting and gasping for air. My hand was still closed, holding something wet and squishy in it. I slowly opened it and let out a blood-curdling scream. Oh! It was the severed head of the bat. The story happened around April Fool's. My family runs an aircraft service and repair business that my dad started years ago. My mom does the numbers, and I'm learning to replace my dad as CEO when he retires. It started out as a small-scale venture, but now we own and operate out of a hangar at our city's biggest airport. Through my family's hard work, we've become quite successful and wealthy. I plan to keep that success up when my father leaves, so I've spent my adult work life learning how to run the company. I would often spend late nights at the cubicle area at the hangar, buried in paperwork and emails. I was basically the only person working in the building, so you can imagine how creepy it was being there just by myself, working in such a large building. I would hear noises every so often, but I just brushed it off as possibly some rats lurking around the building. I eventually got used to it though. However, on this one night, everything changed. On the night of April Fool's, I was working late at my cubicle, typing away on the computer. I would bounce around from the office to the hangar every so now and then due to my line of work. I remember texting my dad, giving him an update that I'd be home soon. After sending the text, I left the hangar and started walking to the parking lot just outside the airport. The parking lot is usually sparsely populated at that hour, but as I walked toward my car, I noticed a van parked next to it. Given how empty the area was, I wouldn't expect to have anyone parked next to me. They were also parked rudely close to my driver's side door, so I knew it would be a crunch getting into my car. I disregarded it and squeezed between the two vehicles, then opened my door and started to slide in through the small gap. That's when I heard something loud from right behind me, the van's side door sliding open. Help! Somebody help! In the blink of an eye, my life changed. One moment I was on the way home to my parents, and the next I'm in the back of a stranger's van being held at knife point by masked kidnappers who are screaming in my face. I quickly realized I wasn't getting out of this situation by overpowering anyone, so I tried to go along with them the best I could, hoping that somehow if I complied, I would get home safely. Is this an April Fool's prank? Please tell me it is!
Shut up and run your pockets! Give us everything you own before I start cutting off your fingers!
Fine, here, take it! My ID? But there's like $200 in there. Why don't you take that?
This address! Do you still live with your parents?
No, please don't hurt them. I'm begging you.
Quiet! Now listen to me, you whiny little shit! I don't care about your fat asshole of a dad or the used-up old hag you call your mother! All I want is their money, and you're gonna help me get it from them. Understand?
Okay. I'll do anything you want.
Good. Now tell us where your mommy and daddy live, so we can go on a little ride.
I stayed up waiting for my son to come home for hours. He texted me at 1:30 saying he was on his way. Without traffic, it should have taken him 30 minutes to get home, but 3 a.m. came and went, and then 4 a.m. Then, before I knew it, I was sitting in the living room at 5 in the morning with no sign of my son. No calls, no texts, nothing. Then I finally heard the doorbell ring. God damn it, that better be him. What the... Robert? What the hell's going on? No. No! Ah! I called the cops immediately as soon as I read the ransom note. I told them I was willing to do anything to get my son back. We did everything the note told us to do. We got the money together, we said we were ready to send it. But then, we heard nothing. Weeks went by and nothing happened. Our last resort was to offer a reward to the public for anyone who could help us, but nobody has given us anything useful. It's been so long since I've seen my son. I just want him back. I just want him to come home. Every day, I wish this was all just one big April Fool's prank, but as every passing day goes by, I'm faced with the grim reality that this was real. Ah! This story was inspired by a disturbing incident that happened on April Fool's Day. 2 days after their 26-year-old son was kidnapped in Lakeland, Thomas and Pamela Wiles received a ransom note. They followed the instructions to get their son back, but something went wrong. On Friday, 3 weeks after the April 1st abduction of Robert Arthur Wiles, his parents had no word of his whereabouts and do not know whether the kidnappers received their response. They and the FBI appealed to the public for help and to the kidnappers to contact the Wiles family again. The kidnapped son's name was Robert Wiles, who was a business development manager for National Flight Services. Robert's mom told reporters, "We are worried about Robert. We love Robert, and we are terribly concerned about his safety. We want him to know that his family loves him. We care about him, and we want him to come home. If anyone knows where he is, we need to speak with Robert. We'll do anything we can to get our son back and bring him home safe. Our son knows how to reach us. He has our number. And the only thing that matters to us is for our son to come home safely." The family offered a $10,000 reward for information leading to their son's safe return. FBI agents have since searched the areas in Ohio, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Thailand, as well as Lakeland and the greater Orlando and Sarasota areas, but Robert's whereabouts remain unknown.